analogy battle.
Yes.
Which is one of the most fun games I think we play on this podcast. And what we wanted to do was to elucidate for our audience the good that reinsurance plays in the world.
Yeah.
What is reinsurance like that shows off how good it is to the world?
I'm nervous about this one. We don't talk about these things in advance. We sort of both are told to pick an analogy with this as a kind of a topic. You picked one in seconds, so I'm very stressed out about my chances in this particular battle. The analogy that I wanted, and similar to my sort of day in the life of Jared, which everyone now realizes is really unexciting, was public transport. And this idea that if you introduce a train system or a bus system, what it's doing is opening up economies in those little hubs and improving the ability for people to access new areas and for commerce to thrive in those geographies and introduce audiences of individuals who can now be in those spaces. And if you didn't have that transport system, that transport network, especially outside places that have a huge amount of drivers and cars and things, it becomes very difficult for those areas to thrive. And you saw this in the advent of trains. Like now, a new station is here, so this whole area booms. And I think reinsurance is similar in a lot of ways. If reinsurance supports a thing, it drives so much sort of explosion of activity and commerce and everything else from that. And if reinsurance doesn't go to that area, it sort of just sits, hoping it kind of naturally accrues this sort of commerce and economy, where reinsurance can very much say, we're going to back a thing, and then it can explode what's possible there. So that was my analogy on this one. All right.
I want to applaud you again. I think you slightly cheated by bringing down everyone's expectations so well, Susan Boyle style. That was really a really beautiful analogy. I want to shed a tear over it because it does really highlight, the benefit and the way that it, opens doors that otherwise couldn't have been opened.
And mine was not the first time I've been compared to Susan Boyle, mind you.
Mine was far more fun and trivial. So I'll share it quickly, but I would love to dive back into yours afterwards because I think it opens up lots of other exciting channels for communication. Mine was reinsurance is like Gandalf, who is a character from The Lord of the Rings, for avoidance of doubt. And the reason I said reinsurance is like Gandalf is because he's always there just in case. And he could bring out the eagles anyway. He could have brought out the eagles from the beginning and could step in, at any point. But he doesn't. He waits until you really need him, and then he's got your back, and he's going to come in at the last minute and save the day with his supply of magic and eagles. But in the rest of the time, he lets the insurance companies, little Frodo and Sam and all the others, go about their own incredibly important adventures and so on. But he's there as the guardian of the guardians, just in case, to appear with eagles at the right moment.